What's up, everyone? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. We're bringing you NFL Week 8 Prize Picks video. This is basically one of our longer videos because this is all of the whole Sunday slate. So we're kind of talking about a lot of different categories, and we're also going to hop into some fantasy score because we've been having some requests to do that, and we've also been having some pretty good luck over there talking about fantasy score and betting on it. So there's some really nice lines over there in that category that we're going to talk about. So Riaz has a couple guys. I have a couple guys that we're going to be targeting here. So we'll kind of build maybe like a you know not necessarily a flex play, but we'll kind of like I'll highlight a couple guys per category, and then that'll kind of be the main guys. But as always, thank you for the support on these videos. These have been doing great, and the growth on the channel has been super awesome. And if you have a comment on something that we didn't talk about, make sure to drop it down below, and we'll definitely give you our opinion. So Riaz is going to start us off in the passing yards category. Who do you like?
Yeah, the first guy I like is Joe Burrow. He's going against the Jets. His over-under is sitting at 267 and a half. He's been smashing that line. I mean, he played a really tough defense in Baltimore. Yeah, I love picking apart their secondary. I think they just have one of the worst secondaries. But other than their secondary being so bad, I think overall their defense is pretty good. And he put up over 400 yards passing. So I don't think this Jets defense is really going to stop him. He's connecting with Chase like crazy, just like they did at LSU. And not only Chase, but Tyler Boyd is a steady wide receiver, and T. Higgins is also a great wide receiver for him. I mean, I've heard a lot of talks that finally the Bengals are one of the top teams in the NFL, and Burrow can just throw the ball up to anybody, and he knows they're going to come down with it. So this 267 and a half just seems way too low. They're probably predicting a blowout and him not really playing that much in this game. But even so, I think he'll get that pretty easily against this bad New York Jets defense.
I think people get nervous of stuff like this because they do think that they're gonna like hypothetically like rest their starters or something like that, but like that just rarely happens in the NFL. Like, I mean, unless you put up like a 50 burger in the first half or something like that, like something crazy, like I can see it, or if it's like a late playoff push or something. But at this point of the season, obviously they might be like handing the ball off to like maybe a secondary back, but for the ball to come out of Joe Burrow's hands and for him to come out of the game, if they're only up by 21, 28 points. Like I still think he's going to be in there. But this is a line that he can hit in 3 quarters. I think he's just a talented, that talented of a quarterback, and his pass catchers are unbelievable. So I like him there. Don't be scared to target those games that are like blowouts either. I mean, they got to blow them out for a reason. They have to put up some points. So I like Burrow there. Some guy I like an under on. We don't really ever talk unders, but lately in the NFL, a lot of these unders have been hitting, and I do like a majority of them today actually. And I'm gonna start with Sam Darnold here, under 242. Um, Man, like what a mess this Carolina team is right now. They started off 3-0. Now they're just in a bad spot. He's thrown 8 interceptions on the year compared to 7 touchdowns. His rating is just going down week by week. He got benched last week too, so I mean that's an option that literally can happen. And he's had a very bad stretch of games. So I don't know what the future holds for Darnold, and I don't know if this is like a hypothetically like get right spot against Atlanta, but Atlanta's trending upwards. I don't know if they're like a playoff team, but they've been playing hard lately. So I just like the under 242 here in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he got benched, so you really never know if he's going to get benched this game. I mean, he could get pulled after the first quarter if he's got a couple interceptions. So. But another guy I'm going to look at is Jalen Hurts. He's going against Detroit. Line sitting at 254 and a half. I know we touched on this earlier that he's a little inconsistent, but he hasn't hit this line in the past 3 games. He's got a great matchup against Detroit, though. This is another team I like to pick apart the secondary. This is just a bad team overall. They seem like they just can't keep anything competitive. I know they played somewhat decent against the Rams, but I mean the Rams were due for kind of a down game, and he's just he's connecting with Devontae Smith at such a high rate that even if this game stays close, that's just better for us in this spot. And Dallas Goedert's become a great weapon for him as well. So, and with Miles Sanders probably not playing in this game, they have the rookie back in Gainwell, so he's a great pass catcher as well. So, a lot of weapons for him. Pretty low line. I'm going to take the over here.
Yeah, we get torched every time we talk Jalen Hurts, or at least talk down on Jalen Hurts. I mean, we brought up the inconsistent thing at the beginning of the season. It wasn't viable. I mean, but man, if you're talking strictly passing yards line, I mean, there's had games where he's like barely scratched over 100. So like, I mean, I do like this spot for him. I think Detroit's just awful. Um, and I just think that this is a spot where they can just like, I mean, this game might shoot out. Like I'm not saying like Philly's bad, but I'm just saying like this is a game where like it can be competitive. I think Philly's going to come out on top, and they'll probably end up covering the spread. But I just think that this is a good spot for him to get over. And I like Devontae Smith in a couple lines too. So I do like Hurts here, even if he does get all his fantasy points in the fourth quarter. I mean, he might put up 3 in the first half. So it's just, but he could do that in the second half. That's just him this season so far. But Mike White is another guy I'm talking about here. Backup for the Jets. Zach Wilson's down and out. He honestly like had a couple promising drives in that game, but I think I'm going with the under here. Um, like I don't know. I think Cincinnati. I mean, I've been listening to a couple different podcasts, and I've heard a couple different opinions on this game being a trap game. Cincinnati's 10.5 point favorite. It's not saying Cincinnati's gonna lose, but like I've actually heard a lot of people kind of like on the Jets at that 10.5. Just like coming off an emotional win against off the Ravens, and like it's just like the Bengals are at the top of the division for like the first time in like ever. Like I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying like we're not talking bets here or whatever. Game lines, but strictly Mike White. I mean, I just like the under here for him. I mean, he's got some like decent pass catchers there, but it's just like I don't know with them being 10.5 point favorites, and like I can personally see them covering. I know, like I said, there's some talks of them like not doing that, but I just think they're just gonna kill him, and I don't know. I don't see him really getting much going here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough matchup to make your first start. So I don't mind that under as well. The last guy I'm going to touch on is Carson Wentz. Wentz sitting at 245 and a half. He had a really bad game the first time these teams played, and I think now he's gotten a lot of confidence. He's throwing the ball so well. He's connecting with Michael Pittman Jr., and I would love to see T.Y. Hilton back in this game. I know he played a couple weeks before. I think he was questionable. I don't think he ended up playing, but if he plays, I think that just boosts this over in our direction a lot. So I really like this over with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I think he's been playing so much better as of late, so much more confidence, and we know how much points. I mean, we say how much points Tennessee gives up, and we just watch like one of the best offenses in the game, like literally just not do anything against them. But like, hey, I mean, like I said, you can play the narrative emotional win, like they put a lot into that game against Kansas City, and then like this is a spot where like Indy is like playing pretty good as of late. So I mean, I don't mind Carson Wentz there, and his pass catchers are pretty good too. So we'll hop to rushing yards. So wrap up passing yards, we got Burrow over 267, Darnold under 242. Jalen Hurts over 254, Mike White under 209, and that's Carson Wentz at the bottom there at 245. We're going the over on there. We'll clear these out here, and then we'll hop over to rushing yards. And we're starting out. I think I got a couple guys, and I think we're pretty much right there with each other on a lot of these guys. The first one we're looking at is Najee Harris. I think a lot of people look at this game, and they might not think it's the best spot, and I know a lot of people have kind of been down on Pittsburgh this year. But I mean, they've been, they're just one of those teams that like I just think personally they play up to their competition. When they'll play bad against a really bad team, and then they'll kind of know when to turn it up. Najee Harris just gets peppered with attempts, and obviously like he's just a very talented back. And I mean, I don't know. I think I understand that the front for Cleveland is pretty good, and Myles Garrett's like a superstar. But I just think in terms of volume alone, like if this was at like 78, maybe like or like 80 something, like I probably wouldn't touch it. But I think 68 is pretty low.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean the volume is crazy, and the big thing about Harris is even if the game is just so boring, so low scoring, he's still going to get touches. He's still going to rip off yards, and if you really think about it, with his potential, he really only needs 7 carries and he'll get 70 yards right there. So he's got a lot of upside. I think everyone knows that, and that's why we're going to take that over. I'm full in agreement with you there. But one guy I want to talk about is Derrick Henry. Uh, his line's sitting at 103 and a half. It seems like a lot, but it is Derrick Henry. It seems like he gets well over 100 yards every single time he plays, and the Colts they don't have that great of a rush defense. I think they rank almost last, definitely giving up touchdowns. They rank almost last in that. So he already played against them. He had 113 yards rushing. I don't see why he can't get it here. He's just a monster. It takes 100 people to take him down, and we've seen before he rips off one big run, and he needs the rest of the 3 quarters to get over 100. So I have no problem with Derrick Henry here. I think he's in a great spot.
Yeah, and we know how Derrick Henry is in the second half of the season. Like he's a different monster. Like I don't know if like that is fully activated yet. Um, so I mean it could get scary here. I mean these 103 Lions could start shooting up like crazy. He's just that talented of a back, and I really could take him one run, man. He always breaks one loose, and this is a team he definitely can break one. I mean obviously 103 you can't get that in one run, but I'm saying he can get there very quick, and yeah, this is definitely a team I think he can break loose against. This is a division game. Could be a dogfight out there, but regardless, like if there's one guarantee in this game, Derrick Henry is going to see the ball 25 times, and I'll take Derrick Henry all day over 103. The last guy we're talking about at the bottom here, that's Leonard Fournette. This is a division game at 425 against the Saints. He's at 55 and a half. And we talk about Fournette just about every video because I think he's still getting undervalued here, and I just think that Tampa Bay knows. I mean, this is a formula they got going. Like we're peppering Fournette. He's running like he's got some fresh legs back on him. Um, he's just looking good, man. He's looking good. He's getting the volume. He's definitely a talented pass catcher too, which definitely could take away from this. But I don't know. I'm not saying Tampa Bay is gonna smoke New Orleans, but I just think Leonard Fournette's gonna get his regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about Leonard Fournette all day because he is just awesome this year. They're still really not respecting him with this line at 55. We've seen just in the past 4 games, he's gotten over it pretty easily, and like you said, we don't we don't think it's going to be a blowout, but even so, the only way Tom Brady is going to have a safe pocket is if they get the running game going, and Fournette has been doing that awesome all year.
Yeah, we'll plug him in there, and that's 3 overs for the running backs here. That's Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, and Leonard Fournette. There's a couple guys here that who are in decent spots, but just to for sakes of time on the video and just like who we think are like our locks for us, we're gonna keep it moving a little bit. That's definitely our locks for rush yards. We'll hop into receiving yards. Um, I don't know. There's a lot here. But I like a couple running backs, and the first running back I'm talking about, I'm gonna go down to this Jets game. I know I'm under on his quarterback, but I like Michael Carter. I can't. I gotta find him here. Oh, yeah, he's at 20 and a half, and I like Michael Carter simply because the fact that I think there's gonna be a decent amount of pressure on Mike White, and I just think that some dump down plays are going to work for him just to get some confidence. Maybe you can see a couple of screens to Michael Carter just to get the game going. And those screens almost are like a guaranteed 5-6 yards. So he caught 9 balls or saw 9 targets, caught 8 balls last game, and that was with him, the backup in the game as well. I think he's in a good spot to get 20 here. I think he's going to get that pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, this guy comes in and starts peppering Carter for 9 targets. I mean, it's kind of hard not to go right back at it, especially with the line being so low at 20. But to keep it in with running backs, I like Cordell Patterson. We've seen all year that he runs the ball, he catches it, he kind of does it all for this team. Um, like you touched on earlier, the Falcons are trending upward. I think they're undefeated uh, coming off their bye. They've just looked awesome. So Cordell Patterson, he catches a ton of passes. Besides last game against Miami, he smashed this line by 30 every single time. So it's kind of a no-brainer here to go back to Patterson here.
Yeah, the Miami game aside, this would be like a sure lock for sure. But I just think that like people might be off him. Well, it's not like it matters on Prize Picks, in terms of ownership. But I think the line got lower because of the Miami game. So I think this is a good spot for him because he was definitely at a point where he was at like 50, 54 in the middle of the season. And I just think that he's just a talented back, and the way they use him, I like the way they use him in this offense. So I like him here at 34.5 for sure. We're gonna lock him in at the over as well as Michael Carter. Another guy I talked about. His quarterback Sam Darnold. I kind of like DJ Moore on the under here. He's at 85.5. We know he's going to see a lot of targets, and I can definitely play a narrative in my mind where, Sam Darnold's in there, and he's kind of fighting for his job, and he wants to just get it to someone talented as talented as Moore. And but I think regardless, I think even if he does catch like 6, 7 balls, 85 is still kind of steep. So I don't know. Darnold's just looking rough. The team's looking rough. I just think I'm kind of under on a lot of these Carolina guys this week. I don't know if it's Atlanta's going to just destroy them, but I just think they're a mess over there. I think DJ Moore, I like him in the under.
Yeah, I mean, to target one of the quarterbacks' weapons that I like this week, and that's Michael Pittman Jr. I was so high on him when he was coming out of USC. I thought he was just an awesome talent, and he's really breaking out year two for him. Carson Wentz, huge upgrade for him. Finally has a quarterback and who really likes throwing the ball to him. And we've seen so far this year that Pittman's the guy. 61 and a half, yeah, it seems like a lot for this kind of guy, but there's truth in the amount of targets that he gets. So I think this game is going to be super competitive. It's going to be very high scoring, and Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be the guy. Carson Wentz is just going to hammer all day long.
Yeah, his targets like started trending down a little bit, but I just think this game is like a shootout type game. Um, in my opinion, like I know there's some people out there who think this is going to be like low scoring dogfight, but I just think both teams are viable to give up some points. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think regardless, 61 is kind of right there for Pittman. I think he can kind of get this easy, and he's a big play threat. He's a big body. I think it definitely could take him just like one or two to just chip away at that 61. So I like him there in the over. And then the last guy I wanted to talk about is Alvin Kamara, coming off a super hot game on that Monday night. Just I don't know. It's not like I'm going on his rushing yards here, because I didn't really like his rushing yards line, but I think in terms of receiving yards, he saw 11 targets last game, and I just think that that's a good formula for them. So I think that if they want to win this game against the Bucks, man, I think that this is just like let's get it in, to someone talented, our best player here, and like let's let him do work. So it was a formula for success last Monday, and I think that it can keep working for them.
Yeah, I mean he's going to have a tough day on the ground. The Buccaneers rush defense is phenomenal. So if they really want to keep this game close, they're going to have to get Kamara involved in the passing game.
So that'll lock it in 5 for us here. We'll hop it over receptions, and I really like. I don't know. These are all kind of right there for me this week, and I really only like one guy. I know you like maybe one or two in particular, but the first guy I kind of look at here, he's at the bottom, and that's Keenan Allen at 6. I think they're coming off a bye, and it was an ugly game against Baltimore. Keenan Allen's just an awesome safety net kind of guy. Mike Williams, he's like the big play, deep threat guy, big body. Obviously, I think that he's viable to get there too, but I just think this game against New England is going to be pretty high scoring, and I just like Keenan Allen here. Just I believe that there was probably some talk, just like that Keenan Allen's always been a target monster. He's always due to catch like 8, 9 balls again. 8, 9 balls a game. He's awesome in season long fantasy. I think this is just low for him. I think he catches 7 to 8 against New England.
Yeah, I mean I've been waiting for Keenan Allen to have a monster game, and I don't see why not this week. But a guy I really like this week is Kyle Pitts. he really started off the year pretty slow. We really didn't know if we were going to see the breakout that everyone was calling, but the game before the bye when they played the Jets, I know there was no Calvin Ridley. So everyone was like, "Oh, this is only target is Kyle Pitts." But coming off the bye, he had 7 catches against Miami, and he looked just as good as he did against the Jets in London. So 5 is way too low for me. I think he's going to get probably 12, 13 targets. He's going to catch probably almost all of them. They line him out as a wide receiver. He plays on the line as a tight end. It doesn't matter. He'll have some horrible linebacker. I feel sorry for him. I had him all game, and he's just going to take advantage of this Carolina Panthers team.
Love Pitts in another category. Catches here. I do like that as well. I think he's going to catch like 7, 8 balls this game too. I think, like I said, they're trending upwards. They're going to get him more involved. The offense is starting to click a little bit more. Is that anyone else particular you want to talk about in receptions, or you want to move on?
Just one more guy, Higgins for the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow is just going to have a monster game again, and Higgins is kind of a guy where he sees a lot of targets. He doesn't catch that many, but 4.5 is a great line, so I don't mind taking that over.
Yeah, I was actually just like looking at that. I was like, wow, that one slipped my mind a little bit. I do like that a lot. I like him in DraftKings this week too. So I like him over 4.5 for sure. We'll hop over to passing touchdowns. Only 4 guys here. Um, is there anyone particular that you like? I like Carson Wentz personally too. I like that Tennessee game. Tannehill's in the same game, but I'm not loving that. And I know Josh Allen can like smash. Same with Brady, but um, I don't know. Wentz looks eye popping to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit before we started recording. Carson Wentz has just been unbelievable. 2 passing touchdowns in the last 4. Uh, like I touched on earlier, I think this game's gonna be very high scoring. So I think he gets the 2 touchdowns pretty easily, and you can't ever count out Tom Brady to get 3, 4 touchdowns. So that's also a line I really don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind that one either. And a division game too. Like I just like it's a spot where Brady definitely can smash. We'll hop over to touchdowns. I love Eckler and I love Harris here, but I like targeting these running backs, especially who are high usage guys in these spots where they don't only have to run it in, like they can also get a pass and it still counts for this category. Love them both, honestly, both. Eckler more than Harris, but it's like 1A, 1B for me.
Yeah, I mean it's always the upside when rushing when running backs can also catch the ball, and I think this is a great category, and I'm right there with you with Harris and Eckler.
And then we'll go to rushing touchdowns. Um, and that's just like 2 guys here, either one. That's in the Sunday game, so we'll touch on that on the next video. And then receiving touchdowns, 3 guys here that are viable for this video. The Tampa Bay guys, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean I don't really know with this. I mean Diggs there's always an opportunity for him to score, and then with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I mean Mike Evans caught 3 last game, which is incredible. Also gave away Tom Brady's 600th touchdown pass. I thought that was funny. And Godwin, he always finds a way to sneak in, but he really hasn't scored that many touchdowns this year. So if I were to go to anyone, I'd probably go Mike Evans in that game.
Yeah, so we'll hop to fantasy score, man, and I think we're on the same guy off the rip. I know there's some quarterbacks here whose lines look pretty good. I know there's one particular you want to talk about. We talked about him already in this video a couple times. But the first guy in this category is Kyle Pitts, man. Especially if you're on him with the receiving yards. I mean, with the catches. I mean, those catches are going to go for yardage. He's a good like yards after catch guy. He's a good, they're going to throw him some seam routes up the middle. Yeah, I like Kyle Pitts over 13. I think this is just an easy one, honestly, for an over.
Yeah, I think the line is just way too low. But to go to the guy who I've been talking about all day, uh, I love his matchup, and that's Carson Wentz. He smashed this line 4 out of the 5 times in the last couple of games. He's just in a great spot. 16 is way too low for the usage. Well, not even the usage, just the product he's been putting out the last 4 weeks. Two touchdowns the last four. You can't really complain about that. This is gonna be a high total game. Uh, I just think he is just in such a smash spot that I'm all over Carson Wentz this week, and I'm just hoping it doesn't bite me when it comes to Sunday night.
Last guy we're talking about here is a tight end. Well, actually, if there's another guy you want to talk about, we can go for it. But another tight end that I want to target is Dallas Goedert. Riaz is on Hurts, a little bit more than me, but I still like Hurts in that matchup. And I think that obviously with Zach Ertz being gone, this is a second game where them two definitely get to get a little bit more chemistry. Goddard gets to play a little bit more snaps, and that's always good for fantasy. So a 10.5 here is a little bit shallow. I think he might catch 5 to 6 balls, and they got to go for some sort of yardage. If he finds the end zone, that's just an easy smash.
Yeah, I mean, one guy I'm going to touch on, and it's just because I absolutely hate him this year, and that's Brandon Ayuk. Take the under for Ayuk. He's not involved in this offense. His coach hates him. He's dropping. He's just dropping everything. He fumbles to lose the game. I bet Ayuk plays probably 25% of the snaps this week. Take the under. There's no way he gets to the 7.
Damn. I mean, that's just, uh, yeah, that's one way to wrap up that category, man. I mean, for real. I mean, Ayuk's been disappointing for a lot of people this year, and I completely agree with you, dude. Ayuk, something's got to be going on there. Trade talks or something like that. I definitely just something in the off season. Is going to go on with Ayuk. So there's obviously this category goes on for miles. But as always, man, you can definitely write something down in the comment section below. If we didn't talk about it, if there's a game that you're really on, definitely feel free to write in the comment section. If there's any line that you want some feedback on, me and Riaz are always commenting back to you guys, and we usually let you know who it is. We usually put like a dash and you say it's either me or Riaz. So yeah, man. Like I said, the video's been doing great. This is hopefully you're seeing this around Friday morning. But if you're not, I mean, let's get going after Sunday. If these lines start to switch, it's not on us. So that's why like the ones we like right now. If you're watching this on Friday morning, try to lock them in while you can. So if just in case they do shift. So anything else you got to say, Riaz?
Yeah, I mean, enjoy your guys' Sunday. We have an awesome slate. Not many teams are on a bye this week, so we got a nice 12 games. And be on the lookout for our Sunday night video. It's going to be another good one.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.